What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're back in the kitchen for yet another copycat recipe. Mongolian beef is a super popular Chinese takeout recipe, and I'll show you how to make it happen at home. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. Now, as with most Chinese takeout recipes, Mongolian beef didn't originate in Mongolia at all. It's very Americanized, suited for the American palate. It's sweet, it's umami forward, and it's delicious. I'm going to show you guys how to make it. It comes together super easy, just a handful of ingredients, and it's perfect for meal prep. You can serve it with rice, cauliflower rice. You can serve it with just veggies, lo mein, really however you want to do it. All right, guys, this recipe is basically broken down into 3 components. We're getting the party started with a marinade. We're going to thinly slice the beef. You can use flank steak, ribeye, or New York strip like we're using today. And we're going to add it to that marinade and let it marinate for at least an hour or so, up to 3 to 4 hours if you have that much time on your hands. We're gonna get the party started with a little bit of brown sugar. I'm going in with about 2 tablespoons, saving the rest for our sauce. Going in with an equal portion of Shaoxing wine. If you don't have that, you can use sherry wine, about 2 tablespoons of that. 1 tablespoon each of garlic and ginger paste. You can use fresh if you got it. This stuff is just very convenient. And then about a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce, followed by 1 tablespoon of hoisin. Some red pepper flakes if you're in the mood for a little spice. I'm going to add a splash of water and some cornstarch. All right, people, now it's time to go ahead and prep our steak. For this, you want to pop the steak in the freezer for like an hour or 2 to make sure it's nice and firm. That'll help it make it easier to slice, like you see right here. We don't want them to be super thin. I would say about 1/4 of an inch thick. If my eyes are on point today, that's about where we're looking. 1/4 of an inch thick is perfect. If you want to use like I said before, a skirt steak or a flank steak, that's very common or popular. You can use ribeye. You can use filet mignon if you're feeling fancy. Today we're using strip because that's what I had on hand in the refrigerator, and that always gets first priority. All right, guys, let's talk about steak for a second. So there's a technique in Chinese cooking called velveting the meat, which essentially is using baking soda to tenderize the meat through a chemical reaction. Now, that is popular because they use tougher cuts of meat like flank steak or skirt steak. If you're using something like a ribeye, a strip, or a filet, naturally a little bit more tender, better fat content depending on how you shop. This one has pretty decent marbling. You also want to cut against the grain, which is very important when it comes to the tenderness of the bite or the chew of the steak. So we did all of that today, so I'm going to skip the step of the extra baking soda, mostly because I don't have any at the house. But if you do have it, you can add that to your marinade as well. We're just going to get our beef into this marinade, massage it in with our hands, and give it about an hour or so in the refrigerator. All right, guys, now it's time to go ahead and get started on our sauce. We're going with 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, a teaspoon of sesame oil, a tablespoon or 2, that's a little bit more, tablespoon or 2 of hoisin, depending on how sweet you want it to be. Hoisin is basically like a Asian style barbecue sauce. It's pretty sweet, high sugar content. I'm going to go in with 2 tablespoons. It also adds a nice color to the sauce, which I like. And then a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, low sodium preferably. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon each of garlic and ginger, a splash of our Shaoxing wine. If you don't have that or can't find it, it is kind of hard to find depending on where you live in the world. You can use sherry wine in place of it. It's fairly similar. Get the ginger in there. Now, if you don't have the dried chilies that we're using in this recipe, you can use red pepper flakes or just add a little sriracha or gochujang sauce. There we go. Break out the whisk and mix to combine. Lots of umami, great flavors in here. A little subtle sweetness, pairs beautifully with like lo mein or rice like we said earlier. Or you can just eat it with veggies if you're on a diet like me. But there you go. Mongolian beef sauce, aka Chinese takeout. Wanted to, have more stuff for the American palate. And what do? Add sugar. Now again, I think they really nailed it when they went with the Americanized version of this, who I'm not exactly sure what year this came out, but there's very minimal veggies utilized in this recipe. You can serve it with broccoli, but then you kind of get into beef and broccoli territory. So today we're keeping it real simple, real traditional. Green onion is essentially what's utilized most of the time in Mongolian beef. We're adding some peppers. You can serve it over rice. Very simple, kind of like meat and potato without the potato concept here. And now, my friends, it's time to get to cooking. In a skillet over medium-high heat, you want to add enough oil to coat the bottom of the skillet. We're essentially pan frying this beef. It's going to be nice and golden brown and crispy from the additional cornstarch that we added. Once your pan gets nice and hot, we're going to go ahead and add that in there. Probably could be hotter than that, so we'll give it another minute or two. But you want to get it nice and crispy. We're going to remove the beef. You can cook it in batches, and then we're going to add the whites from the green onion, toss it around with the dried chilies, add the sauce, reduce that down until it thickens up, and then add back in the beef, toss it, stir fry. You got beef, serve it with whatever you like. Now that the steak is done, it's time to prep our sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little oil, add in the whites of the green onion. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the chilies so they can rehydrate a bit and start to toast. That looks a little excessive. That might get us a little too spicy. So we got green onions, red chilies. I'm gonna give that a little mix. Working over medium heat here. Again, just trying to rehydrate the chilies a little bit, wake them up, toast them. You could add some garlic in here, some ginger if you want to. Once they get fragrant and the chilies become bright in color and start to soften up a bit, we're gonna go in with our sauce. Now again, medium heat, maybe even medium low. You don't want to scorch this. There is quite a bit of sugar in the sauce, so you don't want it to burn. Just want it to kind of reduce a little bit. It'll thicken up naturally. Also, when we add the beef, some of that excess cornstarch from the beef will break off into the sauce, and it'll start to thicken it up as well. It's already relatively thick anyway. It's going to coat the beef beautifully. It's going to be delicious. All right, in go the greens. Then in goes the beef. And any accumulated juices because no flavor left behind. There you have it, folks. Mongolian beef, just like that. Nice and simple and delicious. All right, people, if you want to learn how to make it happen at home like this recipe right here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell to enable notifications. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, guys, I got my chopsticks. I got my beef. I got my appetite. Here we go. Damn, that looks good. Almost looks like it was grilled. That was good. Wow.
Damn. You said it's not from Mongolia, huh?
Yeah. Northeast.
Yeah?
This shit is good.